Hello there folks, and thanks for joining me once again at my tying bench. And this time around I'm going to tell you a pattern you may have seen quite a few times maybe, and it's called the black pennell. And generally you see it tied with a black floss body, but I like to put a little twist on it, and I use some black diamond dub for the body just to add a little extra sparkle to it, a little more attractant. And in case someone out there hasn't tied this one, seen it tied yet, I thought I'd tie this one up for you this time around. So we'll get this guy the vise here, fresh hook in, and I'll get started here. Okay, the hook I'm using is a Mustad 33.999, or 33.99 rather, my usual wet fly hook that I use. And I'm going a larger size here, the size 10. So we'll get him locked down in the vise. And some Danville 6/0 black for the thread choice this time. Alrighty, so we'll get a thread base going as usual, about a hook eye length behind the eye. And we'll get a base going down towards the bend here. Just like so. Then we'll stop before we get to the barb there and snip off our excess thread. Then we'll move back a little ways farther. Just about above that barb is where we want to be. Alrighty, so the tail, as you may know, is some golden pheasant tippet, which is used in a lot of different wet flies. Always a great material for your tail. And I snip out about probably 10 to 12 if I was counting, I would say. Maybe a tad bit more. And I like to try to get both black bars showing for the tail, so if you measure it hook shank length, that will usually do that for you. Then we'll tie it on top with a pinch wrap here. And I'm going to wrap back a few softer wraps just to get above that barb there. Okay, that's just about got it where I want it. Maybe a couple more. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to wrap all our excess forward towards the eye here. Just like so. And we want to make sure we leave that space for our hackle. Don't want to crowd the eye. Okay, so now we'll tie in our rib, which is some small, I'm using some small oval silver tinsel here for the rib. And I'm going to tie that in so it goes down around the bottom is where I like it to go. So I'll just catch that in here and let my thread carry it down towards the bottom of the shank, and then wrap back. Just like so here. Right in front of our tails where we want that guy. Then we'll wrap forward and then back again just so it's in there nice and snug. Lots of good tight wraps. Alright, and then I'll cut off about probably a 4-inch piece or so. Alrighty, let's stick that in our material clip. Now I'm using this diamond dub here, and it's a little harder to dub than your regular rabbit dubbing, but you can dub it. It just takes a little more time, patience. So I'll put some wax on here. And wetting your fingers helps too when you go to dub this stuff. So start our noodle on here. And we'll keep it fairly skinny here. We don't want too fat of a noodle on it. The body's not too robust on this fly here. Like I was saying, it's tied a lot of times with floss, and you could use any black material, like any black dubbing would work as well. And if you had a micro chenille, you could use micro black chenille as well. Would work. Okay, we're going to start that on. The main thing is to keep that noodle tight as you wrap it on. So start our first wrap right in front of our tail. Then we're going to proceed to wrap forward here. And I'm just keeping that noodle tight as I go. And we'll wrap up the body. Okay. Alrighty. Just like so. And we don't want to go any farther there, so take a little bit of that off. And we'll finish up here. Alrighty, so there's our body. Okay. As you can see, that diamond dove has a nice little sparkle in it there, just a little added attractant. Now we'll counter wrap our oval tinsel here. Just get probably 4 to 5 wraps usually on this guy. Okay, we'll come up. Yeah, it looks good there, and we'll tie it off. A couple snug wraps, and wrap forward. Then fold it back and lock it in place. And trim off your excess tinsel. Okay, there we go. Like I was saying, it's not much to it. It's a pretty simple fly, and it's a basic tie. Now I have a black soft tin hackle here. I stroke the fibers back, and we're going to tie that in by the tip here. So we'll tie this guy in right in front of the body here, towards the eye. Catch him in tight, then we'll fold that tip back. And we'll lock that in. I'll give it a little pull there, just like so. And we'll wrap back, and then I'll take one wrap in behind that just to prop it up a wee bit. Then we'll move our thread to behind the eye. Alrighty, so next is our last step in the fly here. The tying part, we'll wrap our hackle. I'll grab it with my little plunger pliers, and we'll get that hackle oriented the way we want it. Stroke the fibers back, and we'll proceed to wrap. One wrap right in front of the next. Okay, and usually you get 3 to 4 wraps on these guys is plenty. Okay, I'll bring my stem up, tie it off. Just like so, a couple snug wraps, keep the thread tension, and I'll wrap forward a couple more. Now we're going to fold everything back, including the hackle stem, and I'm going to wrap back just to begin to form the head of the fly before I get rid of that hackle stem there. Now we'll come in, give it a little pull, and get rid of that, just like so. See how our hackle looks. Spread evenly around the fly, doesn't look too bad. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to wrap back a little bit farther on this fly. Then we'll do our whip finish, and he'll be done deal. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. Okay, folks. And we'll throw in a whip finish here. Just gonna spin my bobbin counterclockwise and flatten the thread a little bit here, just to get a nice smooth hit on the fly. Okay, now I'll get a 4 or 5 turn whip finish. Alrighty, snug down the thread nice and tight. Snip off the excess, and there she be, another size 10 pennell whip fly. Very simple to tie. And you could also, can't see why you couldn't tie it in different variations as well. You could change the body color, the hackle, and the tailing material if you wish. Just experiment a little bit. This is just the standard pattern, except for I changed the body with the black diamond dove. So anyway, if you haven't tied this one before and it's your first time seeing, definitely tie some of these guys up for sure. It's an old classic, but still a fish catching fly. So if you'd like to see more of my videos in the future, hit that good old subscribe button there and the bell icon so you get notifications when I put a new fly up, and throw in a like too if you wish. And also, if you have any comments, throw them down below there. I read each and every one of them, so appreciate that as well. So folks, until next time, I'm going to wish you all happy tying out there, and so long for now, folks.